G'day and welcome to my garage. Well, I'm over here on the AL51G, the new to me machine. I've got a new belt. Now there's two belts apparently, a 710mm and a 730mm. Matty gave me the 730 with the machine, and he said it's the long series belt and it doesn't fit this machine. So I bought a new 710, 5 months, and the belt was broken. And it had cracks through it. I can't seem to find it at the moment. But it had a number of cracks in the belt. I particularly don't know what's going on there, but I just checked the obvious, the alignment of these pulleys, and they're within 0.5 millimetre or 20th out of alignment, or within alignment, let's put it that way. The bearings feel alright. This is the belt tensioner, which I was running before with the old belt that I broke, but I've decided I won't, because this is how it's supposed to be. It's already tight. So if I put it over onto this series, the belt's loose, but then the tensioner kicks in. So now the belt's loose, and that's tight. So we'll see how it works on that setting. I've just done a clean-up pass on this shaft. I've got to go to get it down to about 14.2 or about 560 thou. So I've still got .58 thou, 55 thou, about 55 thou to go. So what's that, 27.5 on the radius, will take a 20 thou cut. This pin's got to be about 208 millimetres long. What's that, just over 8 inches? Fits beautifully. That's all I'm after. I'll just put a chamfer on this end. Actually, I might leave it Don't think I'll bother cutting it down the length. Alright. I've got to drill and tap a 6mm hole and then put a handle on which will go in here. I've got a piece of M10 thread stock that I'm going to use for the handle on this lock. So I need turn this down to 6mm. You may be thinking why I'm using all thread for this handle, because I've got plenty of it. It's another quarter to come off. And that should be 6mm. Spot on. Alright, I'll put a thread on that. Well, that all thread was too ugly. Even I even I am not that cheap. So I've got a piece of 12mm in the chuck at the moment. Okay, that will give me a reference. 7.87, I think. Yeah, 7.87. 7 point. That'll do. 86. So that leaves me 3.43 on the diameter. I get confused with these dials because the dial says 0.002 thou and 0.05 millimeters. I assume that's each graduation, not a problem. It's got a little circle with a line through it, so I'm presuming that's diameter. So each line is a thou on the radius, or it's marked as 2 thou on the diameter, and that keeps annoying me because I don't have that with the other machine. But let's do it this way. What did I say? 3.43 on the diameter. Excuse me. Divide that by 0.05. 0.05. That's 68.6 divisions.
So it's leaving 0.42 to go, no, 0.4 to go. Come on, 0.45. 8 divisions. Spot on. Yep, spot on for the thread. Put a bit of a starter on that. Clean that edge up. And we'll cut that as N8. Well, that retaining latch is now finished, and I've fitted it to the door. And that'll stop any wind slamming the door in and out. It's nice and strong too. So now that that's finished, it's got its first coat of black paint on there. I still have to put another coat of paint on it. and it's fully dry. Anyhow, in the meantime, I'll go over and work on the hinges for the single door. That piece, part of the hinge is only clamped there in position at the moment. This is not the position it will be fitted. It's just clamped at a working height so I can work out the hinge. I was originally going to fit the same hinge pins as the 9-foot doorway, but I've decided I would lose 60 to about 80 millimetres of door opening if I did that. So I'm going to put the hinge on the outside. So this is the bottom part of one of the hinges. This particular one is a top hinge. The bottom hinge will be very similar but mounted differently to the door frame. So I just got to work out how I'm going to do it. It's going to pivot about here somewhere. In the vice is the other half of that hinge. I've just got to trim it into shape, cut it into shape, and then I can mount it. Then I can mount it and weld it onto the door itself. The other half is bolted to the frame. This one's welded to the door. So I'll get stuck into it. And this shit already. This is one of the hinge pins for the new hinges on the single door. Got to take, that's 35mm of pin. I'll make it a little bit longer. I'll make it about 40mm because I've got plenty to play with. Good old trusty rusty bit of steel. Got to take it down to 16mm. Very good. Alright, I'll do the second one off camera. Right, this is the lower half of, in this case, the top hinge. This is the upper half. There's a Delrin bush to go in between, so that will be the hinge, the top hinge anyhow. So at the present moment I have to weld this up. Okay, let that cool down, and I want to put some wings on this rather than it be supported only by that 50mm. So I might actually just put one wing on the top because it's going to be a downward pull. Yep, alright. I'll have a cup of coffee and I'll wait for that to cool down. Then it comes off the pins, the hinge pins, and I'll weld them up.